we do it at 6:05? Or not, but I say we rock them. Is there any reason we shouldn't start now? Anyone? Pretty good reason not to start. Oh, no problem. And Michael,
Go ahead. He's dialed in. I have a few videos to upload. Actually, I'm going to trim off to do it. So.
Okay, I'll feel like they get to know us as people.
I'll cut all of it out.
I leave it to your discretion. Kick us off, Chris.
Yeah, everything should be going.
An engine wiring harness, version 4. I ordered a wiring harness for the Honda Civic, which let us connect to the ignition switch, and floor harness with to the gas tank and evaporative fuel recovery canister. Module V4. Engine module V4 from the reference engine of them, and took them up to Linwood for development.
Try this while laptop.
Thanks. Please mute when you're not talking, because it does look like there's some feedback, but it's not nearly as bad as it had been a minute ago. So thanks, Michael. Then I upload on STL, it's an open source format CAD file of the Aeroshell. WIKISPEED team can interact with it, whether they use a Libre design sponsors us. A lot of our CAD companies in CAD have an open format version of the Roadster body who's able to successfully boot a Libre. But anyone who's able to save our file format by any CAD program, the free programs. Also on the left, who's started, and I coordinated with a WIKISPEED group for their car build there with Toyota Advanced Product Development Labs to get a car in Palo Alto, Hewlett Packard, and Lockheed Martin there. Also, get together and put a car together. It looks pretty early in that conversation, but I enjoyed talking and working on an online course of extreme manufacturing method that we use. What are or seeing other companies using with ourselves on production. It's in a very short development cycle, research prototyping, but what have we learned about quantities in hundreds of thousands, and so I'm composing everything I've learned and everything I'm seeing and the stuff we've experimented with that is presented next Wednesday. Posted, and that's for people to consider. If it's live, they even get to participate and ask questions. $, though, to get in. Some additional safety equipment for the shops. I produced gloves, leather nitrile gloves. I ordered additional supplies because we ran out of epoxy here, so I ordered more composites, and also they had a roll of that, and then cups to mix things in and stir. I updated diagrams of the to hang in the shops and bring to, so people can see the diagrams of the current version to help develop the next cooler version. We ordered fuel gauge to connect, very similar to what David Lighthouser had developed, an enclosure with durable wiring connect. We did do some develop singleton, which we've experimented with before, but it's a single spot on the card to get 12-volt power, which or another would be an advantage, which we enjoyed. Started with that again. Frazier from the airport, from the right, for common good or something similar. Oh gosh, that's not. Who flew from England to, and today we put a plan together on that involves planting native edible, which is one of his keen interests. He's a forest gardener by trade. With him is enjoyable. He's using Scrum to do that. Scrum to teach people, he thinks, a very sustainable lifestyle, and I'm intrigued. I did order an updated stereo system module and a new dock that will let us use the computers in the dashboard. Previously, we were only able to use smartphones. Play with that. I think it just got here today, so I might experiment with it tonight. Oh, and updated rear brakes and brake lines for the park brake experiments. And so complete the suspension next, let us try experimenting with an even longer engine module, which the original equipment manufacturer Fuel are wired and should allow us to make engine modules the gasoline one more quickly. That said, I'm really excited about modules, but I'd like to be able to produce any of the engine modules more quickly, more optimized. And that takes me to next week. Next week, I hope to pack up kit per module. So 8 kits, they're storage bins, 2 feet deep, 2 feet wide, 1.5 feet tall, of the tools and as many to make each of the modules, and the rest of the raw materials are being bundled onto, being shipped down to Tucson, where they've paid for that, paid for instruction as a build my employer, and facilitate a Scrum trainer over 5 days. I'm absolutely excited about how that might turn. That is what most of tonight is. So here, there's a bin for the suspension. Then we get done next week to try to get done to the next version of the suspension that has adjustable Ackerman, which is the version that I think for everybody, and Michael Wolchek would be able to do it if he wanted, which is to make some headway to it. And I hope address on the singleton power, and maybe even switches for the be able to order Tucson where they can machine, but I'm not sure. But I hope to get that much done in the next week. I'll ship on Monday, so in the next week, because if not, it just won't make it to some blocking issues. Hand updating AeroShell cat new floor pan that the Aero. So I got a notice when I logged into Libre yesterday called GeoMagic that my is. So our negotiator re-up, or at least to extend potential block there. Uh, Another block. I'm trying to extend the engine module while seat layout in the car. Talk to people who care about, do we just want to make us to make engine modules faster, or do we change the to allow us to still accommodate what I would at least 4 seats and a long make more quickly, or design and start making something more like that the direction the C3. So a block is my mind, and being very interested. I'm not aware of other blocks, at least. So that who would like to go next?
I'll go. Let's see. Joe, you mentioned you were working on an online class. Is that the one that I guess is
in-person
February?
class,
Right?
although I function of it and added it. But this online class is next. I think that means it's.
Is that on the Scrum Inc.
Scrum Inc.
Okay. I think last time I looked at it, it was available to attend that class, and they were actually interested in doing it sooner. YouTube links and some talks you had done, but actually, if that's available, follow up with that.
I really recommend pointing people that think it's $50. However,
And that,
for 29.
manufacturing company that I don't guess they use work with me previous. That will go down to research some changes. So there, and there's a really good video. If no one's seen it on, I think it's in Hawaii or something like that.
It's
I'm
in
not sure
which England.
It's kind of hard to find, but it's a good video to watch. It talks about starting WIKISPEED and stuff. So I just wanted to mention that before I get started. See, I updated the join the team automated reply. They join the team with the latest information about this. So I got that up to date. I'm familiar with that this week. Really neat. And then I also sent some to the Google group so that other people can check that out if they want to. So, well, I'll tell you now, but I sent that to the .com,
Okay.
and just Google Master Tools. Only Webmaster Tools probably wouldn't even ever need that interface. So any of the pertinent information from that. Also, I work more on trying to automate the invitation. I work through several options of calendar to Google Groups, since I was not able to actually send to Google Groups. Like I said, I'll mention that during blocks and maybe a little more during open discussion. Um, I also downloaded, and this minute, installing a Libre or being in trial mode because I haven't figured out the licensing on it yet. But I did just get that installed to evaluate. Which it's probably not everything I did, but it's all I remember. Next week, I plan on creating a privacy statement and an opt-out page because it actually tracks some online information about people, and Google recommends some tracking that's there. So I'll work on. Hopefully, I'll be able to get GeoMagick licensed that block, but I plan on going ahead and continuing on with the WIKISPEED curriculum using the latest designs and STL files while I'm doing that.
I love the sound of that. Trial version, I think, is X. I'm not sure if they restrict STL or I don't remember what it is. If not, yeah, it's step to export.
Okay. And it's stuff in order for the curriculum. Two birds with one stone there. So.
I love the sound of that.
If everything works the way I'm planning, so that I don't have to deal with manually.
Awesome.
It'll work out. There's the one missing piece right now, so we'll see if we lost one when I was updating the invite. Is there still mentioned in the join the team automated reply?
Oh,
yes, at one point there was
seen that be active in quite some time.
It basically just says to Skype, I guess your address. Let's go ahead and remove that from the. And
right.
There's no. Okay, like I said, I'll probably an alternate way of doing a Friday meeting or something, whatever works best for people, because I think that was the purpose of it. Piece of getting the invites automated through an email address at Google, but it will go to what it considers the admin. Michael would admit if it only goes to the person who created it, or if the managers get this confirmation code. I sent one. It's not the one I need done. It was sort of a test one, but if you all individually basically to see if there's a way to figure out how to get that done. But basically, that will allow me all the other pieces are in place. So, and then last week, license, and again, I'll work on that this week. So.
Chris.
I guess that leaves me. I'm muted.
You were coming through.
Okay. This week, the walk inside the Mazda, some progress on the controller. I actually behaving well. I have some difficulties, but I've been responding with the for NetGain controls, and they have some new stuff for me that for next, basically, to get the controller run, do time trial, and get back onto the visual stuff. Blocking that I can really help from anybody else topics in the old part of the set, and I guess that's about it for me.
Thank you so much, Michael. Stand up if they would like to share. Done. 10 and 10 this week. 10, and I was able to be active, and I felt the team was there to support me. They're in the shop right now working, and I don't know how many more will show up. It's great. Folks supporting the time I'm able to put in 10 for the team. The build interest in the lost pending build in Germany, the pending build in Tucson. I don't even remember now where the other one is that I mentioned earlier. Process improvement that I can think of. Anything I might do to automate the weekly Google isn't a single point of failure. And a week where Chris was instructions on how to set up the Hangout, and I totally failed and wasn't able to, between Lauren and I, we got something going, but we weren't able to record it. So to help Chris automate weekly meetings or anything else. Who would like to go next with retrospective?
I'll go. For me, I feel like I had to wait a lot of and again, there's not as much chatter going through Google groups or with the team, so I don't get to see some of the stuff that's going on. And I would say for process improvement, this is kind of a weird one because people could demo or video or write down the process of improving a process. Mine for process improvement.
Okay. Seven, and listening to all the stuff that Joe was doing, I didn't know they were doing, but it's gotta go with it, go any level. Process of agree. We don't have a meeting in order to get something. So anything we can in this way we gotta aim for the following week. I guess that's but it's for me.
Sounds good. Is there any retrospective that has not yet given it? I just remembered that one or more stand-ups ago, we said, "Oh yeah, it's for the shop," and I didn't from other people about it. So and I see there's so many things with high user of different options. Wildly various points. The other is time-lapse way to upload them on a fairly regular basis, once a week or more often. Time-lapse video. Gosh, yeah, more research than me typing into Amazon right now, because there's that part of all. We've gone through our blocking use and retrocess improvement attempts and vote on one together, the call conversation proposal to film to make it a demo video of a process improvement happening. Then there's a proposal from that's Michael.
I
Oh, okay.
Get our completion of the one thing. Chris does the one to initiate it.
Through which of those could any of the least make any attempt at solving service improvement? If I knew which, if I had one in mind to assist Chris, like Michael or myself, do to accelerate you.
So the easiest thing would be to make me a group
Done.
so like just block, because I need to see if I can actually send the confirmation code to allow me to programmatically.
I can't believe you're not an admin already. Are you an the Gmail or whatever they call it, nonprofit business account?
I'm not sure which one that is.
Adam is a manager looking at it a couple hours ago.
Of all grand ultimate awesome.
Just a minute. Let me add.
Let me see if I you Chris or whatever they do. Let me see if I can't block related to that.
Can I ask you a question? So, do your accounts, or you check them to the owner?
It came
Same.
Or a confirmation code a few hours before that?
no,
I did read. I should be able to send the forward confirmation code, and it should go to the admin of the group. Testing that as I do not know.
Or even more ridiculous level.
Right.
There's a manager, the admin.
I would imagine that owner would be it. Now, whether or not that's something that a manager could be applicable on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Joe and Mary Mike in the owner group. I guess I didn't wait to have it update.
Standup.com, is that the email you'd like to use? Okay. Remember. Let me see. Cooler. So the group roles are member, manager, or owner. Make you an owner. The built-in role. Okay, if you are about to become an owner, please don't remove. Invent it. Okay, it says you're now an owner. It says that just tap.
Okay, I'm going to refresh and verify.
Apparently I need to click it, but I think I did that now.
Okay, refreshing again.
Chris Wallace, owner.
Yep.
Allowed. You now own everything.
Okay. I'm trying to log in.
Only
another couple of buttons.
There's a drop down. If improvement in this week, because then we know it got you post
Here, well, I think that's if the WIKISPEED info account is not added. I think it's currently have it set up where you have to be added to the group to send an email.
Please, you need to change to attempts. And I'll say it was posted online that actually meets the uploading a video of process improvement.
Awesome.
All right, guys, the call for any cross conversation that might be important, relevant, or helpful. Chris, actually, Michael Olchek, I think you mentioned you had something.
Yeah, I heard about the challenge for transmission or the single speed. There was a candidate that has a differential in housing along with the stress analysis, and he challenge is still active. I told him I was pretty sure it was firm today.
Yes, I'd love requirements for winning are how it's assembled and built with open source. Basically, it's running a factory, and then to one of the WIKISPEED. I would be thrilled, but whatever the winning criterion, but I think that's what they are. Because that would be very meaningful. That would actually unblock an entire different development path.
Okay. We will. The other thing, you power box for the car. Are you talking?
And from there, it can not thinking of the word I want to use, but wired various assembly modules. Basically, a battery box that's in automotive amp hours, and it has a block of terminal outs and a positive post and ground post connectors or something like that on it, and then under an insulative thing. I'd be interested in any and all solutions.
So you're looking for a distribution system of 12 volts, and is this for switched or both? Like power when the power is on, or do you have two for ignition off?
Your power switch, allowing you to prevent drain. We don't need an accept position. Just on or off. Basically, a traditional starter, but behave much like a traditional auto ignition, and we could use one or a start button and power button or whatever. But I would hope in that point, box or drain of any type.
Okay. Into the of that sort of a master switch is what they call it. Diesels don't run if you don't use it. And in the original, depending on what kind of room you have and space between the hood and the I put up an email of ideas that will work for you.
I like a little check. Thank you for brainstorming.
To talk about the
I would love the engine module is 40 inches long, 40 inches wide, and if the 20 engine is able to be quite a bit taller, except at the very rear. That's what fit, etc. The challenge there, a full-size gas tank fits in, is if it's out of the world, but it would block rearward visibility. That's because we use these tiny little 4-gallon gas tank that's still a 400-mile range, and you're fine. But the advantage is we wouldn't have to rewire the fuel pump or do significant plumbing of the fuel line. The speed of put an engine module from OEM parts very much. The entire OEM system, the original equipment, that would mean we either put the full-size gas tank on top, and which is possible. There's no rear window, or we lengthen. Those are is because the wheelbase of the car. The only way to achieve that is, which means shorten the interior module. The interior module, we could, the engine module gets longer than interior-wise, we would need to lengthen the chassis so that the interior stays the same length or becomes longer as well. We might need to add more a little bit, strengthen the chassis at that length. Anyway, maybe we could get away without it. Is then we need to wider again so that the wheels can turn even more to give us an acceptable turning radius despite a longer wheelbase. These are the trade-offs. We should just make two-seater for now, or well, really we should be making a minivan anyway to begin with, or go on top, we'll put on, or I don't know. What do people think?
In terms of the electric, the battery pack forward, like between the cabin and the engine, really well. Much of the motor module, it works split around transmission. Because the batteries are one of our heavier, so the are about as close to the gas, but a little bit lower. Rearward being on all the time and showing a display on the rear camera view mirror.
I understand what the options you preferred. I heard all kinds of good things I agreed with. I don't know which option that indicated a preference for.
We get on the bottom, but between the module and the cabin is accepted. Doesn't work. It just makes great for the gas directly underneath.
So would you the gas tank is underneath almost everything. Underneath up, and then the engine would block the rear than the fuel tank. So actually advocating for a module, and if so, are you advocating the rear seats of the car, or do you longer chassis design all together and redesign the chassis and round up a little more room for everything?
Flexible. To keep her with so that we don't, because that's a lot of the pieces. Every one of our modules will then end up getting patched. Just a shorter cabin and a seater, a first choice, so that kind of affects all a car.
That is the and could be a hanging stone. It wouldn't require many other modules. The mission of commuter car, but maybe it's a meaningful experiment. I hope much more rapidly with more engine module technologies.
Since you have
let's see, my vote would be for keeping the minimum of 4C with the option of going larger in a third row or be able to assist people. I think really in order to integrate those two ideas, making the chassis longer, quite a bit of work. Minimum of 4C.
That makes sense to me. Call it a commuter car. If we went the option of lengthening the engine module and shortening at the expense of the rear seats, I think we'd have to, but not aiming towards the commuter car. You call it a commuter car with only 2 seats, and for good reason. They appreciate that flexibility. Yes. Okay. I don't so a consensus. This sounds like we think the people down this hall think will shorten the interior module. However, further away from our mission of creating a fantastically sustainable car that meets every safety regulation and expectation. Advanced powertrain to either stack stuff up on the engine module to make it taller, which has very little ripple effect on other modules, but has, in terms of vehicle stability and vehicle handling, honestly, we could go have far better center of gravity than almost anything. It's not that we'd be tippy for a while in the wrong direction in terms of vehicle dynamics, in all of our opinions. We basically take the wheel from here on when we T3, and we want a larger engine module because it gives us more flexibility and we can build faster. Revisiting a lot of when we thought we could fit our engine module comfortably in this 40-inch by 40-inch by 21 and a quarter inch tall cube.
What the front end, where they are, the cabin forward, we're removing back to the front.
What's there's legs? Cab over engine trucks use it. Volkswagen used to use it. That's a little weird. Most cars don't under or over the driver's legs. They have it in the driver's legs. We need to somewhere. But yes, we sure could, and cars have done it before.
Thing I've heard that possibly the camera would be the fastest immediate solution, but I would also maybe suggest stick the other modules on to see how much work that would cause. Anything is rearward visibility, a camera can take care of that, no problem. I make issues then start making the engine module taller, but they are right now without changing a major module as the chassis would.
My data and weighing in. Dr. Any update you'd like to share?
In terms of what we can do quick, larger, taller, like a gimme.
Currently, all the current engine module envelope, or do you need it to be bigger anyway?
Range you're willing, I can fit an envelope, and I'm thinking of replacing the floor in the pack for doing, but that's from the modular that we're using.
Yeah, but it only come as a pair then in that situation. Go there. Well, and that's the fuel tank in the engine module, which, as an example, at least used to, they may still much room elsewhere in the car as a result. Is we, in that case, in order to resolve the problem, but only between two interior and the engine module become tightly coupled. Too.
Do you have them underneath the seats so low?
Well, maybe we would, because you're right, it would significantly, which does impact our aerodynamics. But it could be in between we can make it three-seater. There's a parcel shelf on top. I do something creative that way.
Also, are most of these changes coming from the fact that, like you said, if you're using a little 4-gallon, so the sensors and things like that are matching up with what you're trying to do. The sensors and the ages to that's trying to be eliminated.
Totally can be done. In fact, we did, but the fuel tank ourselves, so that it and width that vendor are expecting. But yeah, we did do that. Create a teeny little aluminum cube that fit just right and stuff attached. The original equipment manufacturer worked. To make a safe fuel tank myself at another block west, those being made, and it would probably be expensive for full numbers. So I'm joining the team with that skill.
What's the smallest gas tank on a car that reads a question?
Oh, sure. To be specific to the engine that we currently use, the most efficient one, we could do gasoline version in the gas Honda Civic. The Honda Civic gas tank is, oh gosh, it's pretty. With WIKISPEED cutout box, so you can spin it around and put it in different places. But I think it might be 14 gallons, something around there, and by 3 overall, something like that. Have a plug-in plug-in harness and fuel line.
Okay. Making sure I understand
Right?
the issues.
Let's challenge. Well, folks, there's a minute left. Anybody wanted to talk or chat about? Okay. We did have a meaningful conversation on potential. I think we defined the issue better. Video to help know them and give us feedback asynchronously at any time through the comments or by email, and hopefully that way, and if I'm lucky, quickly. Honor and privilege to meet with you folks on the call today. On my shop suit, and I'll head on down to the shop.
Yeah. Good night, Joe. Good night.
Okay.
Amazing